All right, welcome to the Buccaneers 20-year rebuild, episodes 1 and 2, years 1 and 2. Years 1 and 2 is what I meant, not episodes 1 and 2. This is episode 1, years 1 and 2. We're off to a flying start. I've gone ahead and made myself the coach of the Buccaneers. We're in the first preseason now. Got a couple players to upgrade. We might make some minor changes to the roster going into year 1, but for the most part, we're going to keep things exactly the same as they were during the 2021-22 regular season. The main difference is we're going to be switching from a 3-4 to a 4-3 defense. So that's going to take up some time here in the preseason. That's going to be the first thing we've got to do. As you see, my schemes, my playbooks are the Tampa Bay offensive playbook. I always run the Seattle 4-3 defense. I don't particularly know how well it sims. That's what I run in CPU versus CPU games, and that's what I run when I actually play games too. So I'm going to roll with that to begin, see how it plays. If we've got to make a change, then we can make a change. I go base 4-3. I usually do multiple zone run. Usually when I do multiple zone run, I use the New England playbook, but I've seen the Tampa Bay playbook perform pretty well. Nathan used it in the Detroit Lions franchise, and it performed extremely well. Extremely well. So we're going to go ahead and stick with the Tampa Bay playbook. Go multiple zone run. It still fits the playbook. Not quite as well as vertical zone run, but we'll stick with multiple zone run. I like that. So let's go ahead and look over our roster to begin the season and move players where we need to be to get ready for a 4-3. We've got Tom Brady, of course, the greatest of all time. Kyle Trask, Blaine Gabbert. Gabbert's probably not going to make the team. Lenny Fournette, Ronald Jones the third, the second. He's only the second. Maybe there will be a third someday, but not yet. Giovanni Bernard, Keyshawn Vaughn. We need a fullback. So let's go to free agency and find a fullback. We do not want Antonio Brown. We want Ben Mason. I'd like to know how the Buccaneers start the season with $40 million in cap room. That doesn't seem right. Back to rosters. Look at a wide receiver room. Evans, Godwin, Scotty Miller, Tyler Johnson, Perriman, Cyril Grayson, Jalen Darden. We can go ahead and cut Zach Triner right now. He's not going to make the team. He's a long snapper. He's got really no use in Madden. Gronk, Howard, Brait, Donovan Smith, Ali Marpet, Nick Leverett, Jensen and Hainsey, Kappa Stinney, and Wirfs and Wells. Wells is our best backup offensive lineman right now, which is not good. We need another tackle. So we might sign a tackle, and so we got the cap room, bring in another offensive lineman. Tyrell Crosby would work as a backup tackle. I'd be happy with that. So there's our backup left tackle. We might as well bring in David DeCastro to start at right guard because Alex Kappa's probably not going to be back anyway. Why the hell not? David DeCastro, welcome aboard. And we'll sign Isaiah Wilson as well. Worst case scenario, we can move Wilson to the practice squad when the time comes. He might just make the team over Wells, or we can shift Wells inside because he's a versatile guy. So Donovan Smith, Tyrell Crosby. There we go. We can move Wells to left guard. Leverett doesn't need to make the team. Let's do that now before I forget. Well, I'm moving players around anyway. It's a good time to do this. One thing I do want to do real quick is make sure that the sound's actually coming through on this. The last video I made, I didn't double check whether or not. Okay, it is. Sorry if there was some feedback there. Last video I made, I did not check whether or not my mic was muted or not, and it was muted the entire time. I recorded like a 2-hour video and I was muted the entire time. It pissed me off to no end. Sue's going to move inside the defensive tackle with her move to a 4-3 defense. So is McClendon. We'll leave Golston on the outside. He's a good run-stopping defensive end. And in our base 4-3 formation, that is what our scheme fit is: a run stopper at left end, pass rusher at right end. O'Connor's just there for filler right now. Shaq Barrett is moving to right end. He's our rush end. We're going to be looking for some big things out of him. He's really going to have to carry our defensive line play. Anthony Nelson's going to go to left end. He's a run stopper. A little bit of time to eat up here. All the loading screens. I'm not exactly sure how to talk my way through this. Cam Gill's going to go to right end. He's probably not going to make the team in year 2, but if we're cash strapped, or in year 1, if we're cash strapped in year 2, he could very well make the team. Levante David's going to go to left outside linebacker. Now, every single time I've played a Buccaneers franchise in this game, Levante David gets a retirement scenario in year 1. You can talk him into staying in year 1 if you've got a good team, but he gets it again in year 2 and you cannot. So he's probably going to be traded. He's probably going to be traded. I hate to do that because I love Levante David, but he's retired on me before, and I cannot let him leave without getting some sort of value back. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, I'm going to put him at left end, and he's going to start at left end. This is another thing that's happened in every Buccaneers franchise I've done so far. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka becomes a superstar X Factor. If you just keep playing him, there's something about him. I don't know if it's his combination of speed and strength and pass rushing moves. He dominates. I've had a huge amount of luck with him. Cornerbacks are fine. I might go sign one. How do I already have an injury? Must be a practice injury. Safeties, yeah, that's fine. I might take a look and see what's out there at corner before I go ahead and advance this. Oh shit, I gotta sign some linebackers too. And I love my guy Colin Kaepernick, but he's not an 81 overall quarterback. So I sign him, and I'm signing Brian Poole as well to play corner. But I always sign Kaepernick and reduce his overall. Same with Henry Ruggs. If we ever see him back in the NFL, it's going to be like a Mike Vick type situation where he's probably not going to come back as the same player he was before. It's just going to be too long of a layoff. So I'm going to reduce his overall, pretty much take him out of the game. I do like Damon Arnett. I might try to sneak him through the practice squad. He'll probably get scooped up, but it's worth a shot. I'm good at kicker and punter. Fuck, I keep forgetting I need outside linebackers. Let's go back to outside linebacker. I need run stoppers or pass defense at outside linebacker. Malik Jefferson is a guy I often pick up. He's got good speed. He's more of a special teams guy. As far as starting outside linebackers, I don't want to speak something into existence that isn't real, but I think Reuben Foster had some domestic abuse issues. I think that's why he's not on a team. If I'm wrong in the comments, go ahead and tell me. But I'm pretty sure Reuben Foster had some serious off the field issues, and I think it was domestic abuse, so I'm not signing him. A lot of other shit people get suspended for in the NFL I don't care about, like weed. Yeah, sign him up on my team. I don't care. But we don't play around with domestic abuse. Voshan Joseph had some middle linebacker depth. Let's see, Darren Lee. I need another right outside linebacker. I can come back here after cuts, and there'll probably be some better players. There's usually some middle linebackers that are cut, and I can shift one of those guys to outside linebacker. And my team will be a little bit stronger at the linebacker position than they are currently. All right, let's take a quick look at what we got at corner now. We got Poole as our fourth corner. Desir or Arnett as the fifth corner. Haven't decided who's going to make the team. Got a little bit of depth at middle linebacker. Other two outside linebackers. So we're good. The last thing I need to do is go ahead and take Ruggs and Kaepernick down. Ruggs I'm going to basically remove from the game. I don't know if he's ever going to play a snap of football again. Just really unfortunate. Both for him and, of course, the victims of his stupid decision. But it is what it is. His career is probably over. There, he's down to 54. Nobody's going to sign him. Release him back into free agency. Kaepernick, on the other hand, I don't mind if he makes a team. In fact, if I didn't have Kyle Trask already as a backup that I want to develop, I would go ahead and keep Kaepernick. Maybe not at that salary number. But let's bump his stats down a little bit. Awareness should not be that high. He hasn't played in the NFL in, what, 7 years now? Is it 5 or 7? I can't remember. Break tackles a little bit high. Change of directions probably not as high as it used to be. Throw power is probably lost a little bit. There's no way his accuracy is what it used to be. Throw on the run, he could always do. Throw under pressure, that's something that probably takes some time to get back. 71 overall seems about right for Kaepernick. Release him back into free agency. Wish him all the best. And we are ready. We are ready to advance to the next week of the preseason. Really, the only thing we need to look at in the preseason is after week 3, if some players get cut, we'll look over and see if there's anybody we'll want to bring in. And if there's any scenarios that pop up, we'll keep an eye on that. We might be able to get somebody a boost. Antoine Winfield is a beast. I love Antoine Winfield. And I think that's all we've got for this week. So let's advance to week 3 of the preseason. Camp standout. Let's see who it is. Antoine Winfield. Well, we're hammering his zone coverage because he's a zone player. So let's go ahead and boost his man coverage. Maybe get him to play slot corner at some point. +5 man coverage. That is huge. That is huge. Alright, so if we get a third safety in at some point, we can have him play slot corner. You can usually get safeties for cheaper than corners. So we're going to have to keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and advance to the final week of the preseason. We'll scan over some of the players that got cut, see if there's anybody we want to bring in, then we'll make our cuts. AJ Bouye. Ooh, that's interesting. Yeah, bring him in. We'll find room in our crowded cornerback room for him. Nobody signed Kaepernick. Fitzpatrick got cut. There's no running backs out there that I want. I do like Braxton Berrios. Let's bring him in. He can work the slot. I've got good depth at tight end. I've got good depth on the offensive line. Ooh, I like Gerald McCoy. Bring him back to Tampa. D Ford, let's sign him and see if we got a spot for him. I'm gonna sign Gerald McCoy. He might make the team. There are no good left outside linebackers. There is Jamie Collins though. So I'll probably shift him to an outside linebacker position, or he might just be the backup middle linebacker, depending on what other options are out there. Ooh, Burke-Hiven, Ben Burke-Hiven. Yeah, let's bring him in. So there's one outside linebacker. Jelani Tavai. From Hawaii. He doesn't. I usually like to have faster outside linebackers than that. Like Raekwon McMillan. I'm bringing in more linebackers than I can actually use right now. David Long is a little bit faster. Well, let's bring in David Long. And, ooh, Jason McCourty. Yeah, I'll take a little bit of that. There's our safety. I mean, we really don't need Winfield to play the slot because we've got 5 solid corners right now. It's just an embarrassment of riches right now, especially on the defensive end. Blaine Gabbert's going to get cut. Sorry, Blaine. I'll eat that cap hit. Running backs, fine. All right, I need 6 wide receivers. 4, 5. Perriman is definitely the better player, but I know Darden can return kicks. So that's probably why he's going to make the team. I like Cyril Grayson too, but Darden returns kicks. That's really the tiebreaker. Leverett. Go to the practice squad. Stinney can be released. Holy shit, we've got a lot of defensive ends. Okay, Pat Connor can be released. Cam Gill to the practice squad. D Ford. I usually carry 5 defensive ends. So I can throw Anthony Nelson on the practice squad. He'll probably get claimed, but I don't really give a shit. Yeah, throw him on the practice squad. He's probably going to get scooped up by another team, but he's not really in the plans anyway. I'd rather have McCoy than McClendon, and I don't really want to cut Nunez Roches and eat that cap hit, so goodbye to Steve McClendon. Alright, now it's time to sort through some of these linebackers. Darren Lee is not going to make the team. Thanks for your work in the preseason. Nathan Gary's not going to make the team. Burke Hiven is. And Malik Jefferson is. So I need one guy to move to outside linebacker. That's going to be Roquan McMillan. Now I'm fine. I'm fine running with David, White, and McMillan, just because my defense is probably going to use nickel the majority of the time. It's only in 4-3 defenses or 5-2. No, not even 5-2. In 4-3 defenses is where McMillan's going to play. So he's just not going to see a whole lot of snaps. I'm cutting Kevin Minter. He's a good special teams guy, but that doesn't do shit for you in Madden. Voshan Joseph, go to the practice squad. Britt to the practice squad. And Mr. Relevant Grant Stewart to the practice squad. Now we have a crowded cornerback room. All 5 of these guys are going to make the team, so I can't cut Desir, so I'm going to put him on the IR. And he's just going to stay there for the whole year. Arnett to the practice squad. He's gonna get scooped up by another team, but that's okay. I hate to lose him. He's a good developmental player, but when you've got a cornerback room where your lowest rated corner is 79 overall, there's not a whole lot you can do for him. Oh yeah, that's right. I put Desir on the injured reserve. Richard Sherman is gonna get cut. I'm gonna have to eat that. $500,000. Mike Edwards is going to be the backup free safety. McCourty's going to go to strong safety. If it ever loads. There we go. Strong safety. Anthony Adams will be released. And we are good to go. Let's advance to the regular season. Oh, God. Sorry, my girlfriend just sent me a long-ass text message. So I'm a little bit distracted right now. Camp Standout. Antoine Winfield. Two combined interceptions and pass deflections with Antoine Winfield against continuous breakout. Okay, this is a depth trait scenario. Choose a draft class, import file. Pretty sure it's this one that I used. Pretty sure. Hutchinson Walker, yeah, that's the one. Alright, we got our draft class loaded up. Opening day key to victory. I don't care. I've got auto scouting on. I'm not messing with all that bullshit. Same with staff points and all that. I could care less. I wish when you set it to auto scout, they would actually do a halfway decent fucking job. But all it seems to do is scout people halfway, and then you get to the draft and nobody's fully scouted. And it's like, what's the point of having a scouting staff? Arnett and Anthony Nelson were signed. That's fine. Quick set of the depth chart. Everything looks good. Left end. Left end, I want Tryon Shawenka starting. Everything else I'm fine with. Corner, I want my younger players playing. Spouye becomes the fourth corner. Where the hell's Darden? Oh, he must be hurt. Oh, he's 78 overall return man? Oh, that sucks. Alright, well then get fucking Barrios in there. Barrios can return kicks. Darden returned some. He was more of a punt returner for the Buccaneers this past season, and he wasn't terrible. 78 seems low. He's a better return man than Scotty Miller. Third down back, Bernard. I would like that to be Ronald Jones because I want Ronald Jones to get a little bit of work. Fournette's the power back. Scotty in the slot. I want Godwin in the slot. Scotty can be number 2 out of the slot. Barrios 3. And Tryon Shawenka. Sub linebacker. Oh shit. Is David hurt? David's hurt. Fuck me. Okay. Going into the season with a bunch of people fucking hurt already. I'll just put Bouye in the slot and Carlton Davis because he doesn't really have the speed to play outside. So Davis and then Bouye and then Poole. Alright, depth chart is set. While we sim this first week, I'm going to text my girlfriend back. So bear with me here for a second. Alright, we picked up a win. Let's see if we got the dev trait. Nope. Did not get the dev trait for Winfield. That's alright, I'll take that trade off. I'll take the win and not get the dev trait. It's fine enough with me. Trask goes up a little bit. He develops into a pretty solid backup by the end of his rookie contract. Borderline starter, depending on how much playing time he gets. And let's advance. Oh, hold on. Returning from injury, David's back. He should plug right back in automatically. Let's try sub linebacker real quick to make sure he's there. Yeah. I want White and then David. All right, on to week 2. Picked up another win. All right, let's upgrade Pierre Paul, who's basically a 1-year player for us. There's some other players I'd like to be seeing going up right now other than him, but we'll take it where we can get it. Holy shit. O.J. Howard broke his fucking leg. He's out for the year. So I need to go sign a tight end. That's one of the longer injuries I think I've ever seen. Maybe while I'm doing these rebuilds, I'll see some longer ones, but that's up there. Durham Smythe. Oh shit, there's a guy who's 24 down there. Who was that? Jay Sternberger. Yeah, let's do that. Jay Sternberger it is. Let's see who's ready to negotiate. Jensen, yes, he's absolutely going to get re-signed. Likes the contract length, the rest needs work. That's fine. We'll do what we need to do. If we ever going to franchise tag Jensen, I'm fine with that. I'm not re-signing Gronk. He's got that Norval dev. He's going to regress fast. It's just not worth it. All right, let's see if we can pick up a win. Go to 3-0. Got the tough LA Rams. And we pull it out 21-19. And here's Levante David to tell me that he doesn't want to play football anymore. And we're going to convince him to stay, obviously. We're off to a good start, so hopefully he won't retire. And then we'll probably trade him in the offseason. Sean Murphy bunting. Okay, one thing I'm going to go over real quick. They've eliminated most of the things that you can kind of take advantage of in these upgrades, but one thing, if you're going to upgrade man to man, always do slot. You'll get a +2 in man to man occasionally. And there you go. You get the +2 man coverage, he jumps up to an 81 overall. So anytime I got a man to man corner, I'm always just hammering slot. There you go. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka is already up to a 73. Going to develop him into a beast again. Sternberger's already getting a boost. Mike Evans should get a couple solid seasons out of Mike Evans. He's 28. Depends. I think his contract is up around 30, so we'll have to take a look at it then. Maybe when he's in that last year of the contract, shop him around a bit. All right, let's shoot for 4-0. And we lost 26-15 to the Patriots. I don't know what it is about the Patriots, but they always seem to kick my ass. They kick my ass in CPU versus CPU games. They kick my ass in this. I can never beat the Patriots. All right, let's check in for negotiations. Got to up the money for Jensen. Let's go to 615 and 67. He's going to test free agency, but we're not going to let that happen. He's going to get franchise tagged. Godwin, 4 years, 78 million is fine with me. Yep, he's going to stay. Lenny's borderline. I've had franchises where you can get running backs easy. They're like a dime a dozen. You'll see like Derrick Henry out in free agency to begin the preseason because there's just so many running backs. And then I've also done franchises where there's no running backs. So I leaning towards re-signing Fournette just out of the worry that if I don't, there's not going to be anybody available. So let's go 4 years and give him a boost in money. See if he'll take that. Salary works, but he doesn't care for the bonus or the duration. Yeah, that's not great. That's not great. I do want Carlton Davis back. 5 years is fine with me. He wants more money. Everybody wants more money. Jesus Christ, in this economy? All right. Week 5 against the Dolphins. 17-3 win. Wow. That's a low scoring game, but we'll take it. And everybody in our division is 4-1. I don't even know how that's mathematically possible. I don't know how that's mathematically possible, but here we are. I have to say, that's a first. Saw a guy break his leg and be out for 20 weeks. That's probably the longest I've seen someone get hurt. Everybody in the division is 4-1. That's the first time I've seen anything like that. Here we are in our first rebuild and seeing all kinds of shit that I've never seen before. I really don't want to push Fournette to 5 years. So let's give him a bigger bonus. Fournette's going to test free agency. Fuck. That's fine. We can make a push for him in free agency or bring in another running back if there's one available. Carlton Davis wants more money on both ends. Push him to 4.20 and $5 million in salary. There we go. At least I got him to stay. Whitehead, I'm going to let walk. I think I can get a safety for less or comparable money who's about equal value. 79 overall. Rojo, 4-17. What was he asking? 5. That's just not. There's a big difference between those two players. Like I cannot bring Rojo back at that price if I'm going to sign another running back. Money is just too tight. All right, let's see who's hurt. Vea is out and McCoy is out, so I'm down 2 defensive tackles. Hopefully they'll let me play this game even with 2 defensive tackles, and it will. And we get a 42-21 win over the Eagles. That's more like it. And now everybody in our division is either 5-1 or 4-1. This is getting more ridiculous every week. Jamel Dean up to an 83. +3 man coverage. Mike Edwards. I like Edwards having the ability to play a little bit of slot corner if he needs, so we're going to improve his hybrid. Rojo needs a boost and a receiving back. If that's the role he's going to play with me, I need him to actually be able to do it. Isaiah Wilson, boost to him. In agile, he's already got good power. Carlton Davis, who we just re-signed, up to an 84 overall. You got a +1 speed, that's big, because I think he's only an 89 now. Yeah. So that's actually a big speed boost for him. If we can get him to 90, he becomes more viable outside. Let's go ahead and advance week. Come on, try to push it to 6-1. Yeah, this is taking a long time. Oh, there's a mock draft. 38-15 win over the Bears. We're up to 6-1. And 2 teams in our division finally lost. 6-1, first place in the division. Half game above the 5-1 Saints. A full game above the 5-2 Panthers. And a game and a half up on the 4-2 Falcons. And we play the 5-1 Saints next. Yikes. This is a big game early in the season. Continue to develop Scotty Miller in the slot. He gets a +1 speed. He's up to a 95 speed. Donovan Smith. Work on his agile. He's up to a 76 with +1 team play. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka getting another boost. He's out for a week, but still getting better. Raekwon McMillan up to a 73 with +1 team play. At least I'm assuming that's what TMP stands for. I honestly don't know. I've always just assumed it was team play. As in, like, scheme fit. And we got a week 8 matchup against the Saints. Here we go. Biggest game of the year so far, going into the bye. And we pull out a 38-24 game. Seven and 1 heading into the bye week. Continue to work on Wirfs, get him up to a 91. Alex Kappa, who may or may not return next season, is up to a 77 with +1 team play. Ben Mason, our mercenary fullback, up to a 70. Vea up to a 95 with a +1 team play. He's still out for 3 more weeks. Our defense is struggling a bit without him, but we're putting up a shitload of points, so it doesn't matter right now. It's a good time for a bye week, though. That buys us another week on Vea. And there's nobody else that I want to re-sign, I don't think, throughout this thing. I might have re-signed OJ Howard, but he just broke his fucking leg. So I don't know if I can do that, to be honest. So I don't know how he's going to recover from that injury. He's not going to progress any. Kappa, I might go ahead and re-sign. So Kappa's really the only guy I'm looking at re-signing. Everybody else will probably let walk. It's going to be a lot of turnover on this team. Tryon Shawinka's back. I got to make sure I get him in there starting. Want to continue to progress him. I had him at rush right end. The game loves to take him out of the starting lineup. They just live for that shit. All right, let's advance past the bye week. Of course, I try to do something like this, and my phone just starts blowing up. All right, this should be Levante David telling us he's feeling like normal. Oh, look at this. It didn't take long to get out there. That's great to hear. Starting to feel more like himself. I understand why they put that in the game, to give you a bit of a twist, to make it feel like it's more alive. But when it happens every fucking franchise, it's nothing but a pain in the ass. Because here I am, one of my favorite players on the Buccaneers, Levante David, and I've got to make a decision on him every franchise. Do I just go ahead and let him retire, or do I trade him? I don't want to trade Levante David, but they kind of put you in a situation where you have to. Tandem breakout. I'm going to praise Chris Godwin. Hopefully he can put up some big numbers out of the slot and get this boost. Cold opponent, I don't care about that. Upgrade players. Burkiven, up to a 70. Not too bad for backup, mostly special teams. Winfield, up to an 86. Still got several good seasons out of him to come. He's going to be a fixture on this defense for probably another 7 years. All right, week 10 against Washington. The 0-8 Washington 2B Commanders. And we beat them 27-13. And let's see if we got the dev trait boost. And we didn't. So we're 0 for 2 on that front. That kind of sucks. Let's see who's getting a ratings boost. Devin White, up to an 87 with a +1 team play. So that's good. And we play the 6-3 New York Giants. We've got Jason McCourty coming back from injury. I got to make sure he's not coming back to start. And he's not, so we're good to go. Let's roll. Push for 9-1. 9-1, 24-16. Let's see who we've got to upgrade. Malik Jefferson, backup left outside linebacker, up to 70. At 9-1, we have a game and a half lead on the Panthers. So it's not comfortable. We got to beat the 7-4 Colts. Tough game at the Colts. And we pull it out 31-27. Take a 2-game lead in the NFC South ahead of the Falcons, who are at 8-3. And we play the Falcons at 8-3. We can all but put away the division here. Holy shit. Tyler Johnson, compound foot fracture. He's out for 13 weeks. So I'm going to have to go get a wide receiver. That's my biggest worry at this point is, like, this team is solid. The last thing I need is injuries derailing the season. At least it's just Tyler Johnson. I hate to say that about somebody, but we can overcome a Tyler Johnson being out. We couldn't overcome like a Mike Evans. Tyler Johnson to the IR. Best of luck with that compound foot fracture. That sounds awful. But now we've got to go find a wide receiver. Johnson didn't have a huge role on the team. He was the fifth receiver. Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald. That'll work. Why the hell not? Let's try to get Larry Fitzgerald a ring. And here we go against the 8-3 Atlanta Falcons. And we lost 45-42. Oh no, we were only a game up in the division now. 2 games up on the Saints and Panthers. This division is ridiculous. 10-2, 9-3, 8-4, 8-4. I everybody must be winning every game they play outside the division. And this is Levante David, probably saying he's ready for the stretch run. Feeling 100% out there. It's good. We need a full, healthy, inspired Levante David. And we got a tandem breakout. It's probably going to be Godwin again. And it is. This will get us a nice boost for Mike Evans, but I'm kind of doubtful we'll actually hit on the dev trade upgrade this time. We haven't yet. Keyshawn Vaughn up to a 70. He's out for a week. Kyle Trask is going to go up to a 66. Now he's getting into viable backup territory. Still just a rookie. Let's get Mike Evans up to a 95 with a +1 morale. And we need to beat the 6-6 Buffalo Bills, the underachieving Buffalo Bills. Got to stay ahead of the Falcons in the division. And we won 27-9, and the Falcons lost. So we're back to 2 full games up on everybody in the division. We're at 11-2. The rest of the division is at 9-4. Just a ridiculously good division. Let's check on that dev trait scenario. And he didn't get it. We're 0 for 3. Alright, let's see who there is to upgrade. And see who's coming back from injury. Tryon Shawenka up to a 76 with +1 morale. It's good to see out of him. Robert Hainsey, rookie out of Notre Dame, up to a 64. And Ryan Jensen, our starting center, up to a 93 with a +1 team play. Ryan Jensen, he wants to test free agency. I'm probably going to franchise tag him and try to sign Leonard Fournette to a longer extension. Let's see if Kappa's up. He is. I'm fine with that number. Let's push it to 4 years. Everything aside from the salary is great. I just gave him a shitload more guaranteed money than what he was asking for, and he wants more. Keyshawn Vaughn and Roquan McMillan are back. That's great. But we need a win against the 9-4 Saints. Let's put this division away. Last time we played everybody back in and we lost 31-21. And now the Saints are within a game. And we got to go at the 9-5 Carolina Panthers. Ugh. We just cannot put these underdogs in the division away. A.J. Bouye up to an 85 for a guy that we took off the scrap heap. That's pretty damn good. Poor O.J. Howard. Recovering well from his broken leg, apparently. And Chris Godwin up to a 93 with a +1 morale. This is a 92 route runner. All right, let's go back and try to negotiate with Kappa. I think we can get this deal done. It's the last guy we're trying to re-sign. Likes the bonus and the duration, just not the salary. Let's give him a little boost. And he's happy to sign. All right. At least there's a happy ending to that story. Sean Murphy Bunting and Larry Fitzgerald are back. Let's make sure Murphy Bunting gets slotted in correctly. He does not. Carlton Davis is hurt. Jeez Louise. All right. Let's look at my slot corners. I want Bouye there, then Bunting, then Poole, then Bunting. I want Bunting playing on the outside. All right, big game at the 9-5 Panthers, trying to keep our lead in the NFC South. And we win 28-21. Still got a game lead on the New Orleans Saints, 2 up on the Atlanta Falcons. Jace Sternberger getting a nice boost. He's up to a 70. And Jamel Dean up to an 85 with +1 morale. And who's coming back? Carlton Davis and Jalen Darden. Carlton Davis is the one that makes the big difference for us. Davis, Dean, Bunting, Bouye. And I got to put Davis back in as the slot corner. We're going to put him right behind Bouye because he's going to play on the outside. Now that he's got that 89 speed, I'm going to let him play on the outside. All right, big game against the 6-9 Jets. And we pulled it out 34-27. 2-game lead in the division. We've wrapped it up, going to the playoffs. Currently sitting in the 1 seed. We could theoretically rest our starters this last game. I'm not going to go through all that, though. That's like a 10-minute process. I'm just going to put my faith in the Madden gods that nobody's going to get seriously hurt. Devin White's out for 2 weeks with a broken finger, which is a little bit silly. I think Devin White would probably play through a broken finger. He'd just tape it to the next one. Levante David up to a 94, +2 morale, +1 team play. And we are ready to go for Week 18. Another game against the Carolina Panthers, the 10-6 Panthers. And we lose. The Panthers swept us this season, but it doesn't matter. We're still 13-4, won the division, got the number 1 seed. We are ready to go for the playoffs. Devin White will be back. Scotty Miller getting a boost. We're going to keep working on the slot. That's where we want him playing. Ali Marpet, we're going to work on his agile blocking. Him up to a 92. As long as we don't run into the Carolina Panthers in the playoffs, we should be fine. Everybody else in the division went 11-6. Did the Saints make the playoffs? Yeah, our entire division made the playoffs. 5, 6, and 7. Every wild card. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen all 4 teams from one division make the playoffs. That's a first. All right, let's advance to the divisional playoffs. And we take on the Carolina Panthers. Go figure. Oh, boy. They beat us twice in the regular season. They say the third time is the hardest to beat a team. We'll see if that's true. Ben Mason keeps getting better. Probably not going to re-sign Ben Mason, but might look at him in free agency. I'll need a fullback. I'll need a fullback either way. Tristan Wirfs just keeps getting better at a very quick rate. He's going to be a 99 fast. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can finally beat the Panthers and move on to the conference championship game. 28-27, we snuck by. Jesus, the Panthers just gave us fits. And when the NFC Championship game, we take on the LA Rams. The Rams, of course, would go on to win the 2021-22 Super Bowl in real life. So at least the Madden rosters are actually reflecting a bit of realism here. Jordan Whitehead is going to go up to an 80, 81 with +1 team play. We're probably not going to re-sign him, but that's all right with us. We can get another safety. I'm not worried about that. All right, let's do it. Hosting the Rams. Can we go to the Super Bowl in year one? Yes, 28-14. Bucks and Bills. The Bills were 6-6 when we played them in the regular season. They must have went on a hell of a run. All right, let's advance to Super Bowl week. I want to look at stats before we get to the Super Bowl. Tom Brady threw for 5,200 yards, 38 touchdowns, did throw 16 picks. Excuse me. That's a little bit high, but when you throw the ball 611 times, that's kind of to be expected. Leonard Fournette, 4 yards a carry, did not get to 1,000 yards. That's a little bit disappointing. Did have 15 touchdowns, though. Mike Evans had a huge season. 1,600 yards, 8 touchdowns. Godwin, 90 catches for 1,213 touchdowns out of the slot. Out of the slot. Scotty Miller had 858 yards as the third receiver. That's probably going to be a position we look to upgrade. I'd like to see Scotty as more of a fourth receiver down here in the Braxton Berrios range. Rob Gronkowski had a good season for us. We're definitely going to have to replace his production somehow. You could potentially bring him back in free agency, but he's up to a star dev. That makes him a little bit more interesting. We may re-sign him. Jamel Dean led the team in tackles. That's weird. Huh. Devin White had 103. He did miss a couple games, but still, Jamel Dean leading the team in tackles. He wasn't even a slot corner. And Ndamukong Suh, 11 and a half sacks. Barrett, 10 and a half. I would have liked to have seen Barrett do a little bit better. Levante David, 9 and a half. Vea, 7.5. Tryon Shawinka had 7 as a rookie. Pretty solid rookie year for him. Kicking, I don't give a shit about. And punting, I don't give a shit about. Do we have any kick return touchdowns? Nope. No punt return touchdowns. All right, let's do it. The 9-8 Buffalo Bills and the 13-4 Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Super Bowl. Can we pull it out? Looking for the year one Super Bowl championship, and we lost 35-31 to the 9-8 Bills, who went on just a miraculous run. I'm going to upgrade Grant Stewart because there's an outside chance he actually makes the roster in year two. It depends on how cap strapped we wind up being. A lot of that is going to depend on whether or not I'm able to bring back all the players I want to bring back. If we do, there's not going to be much money to go around. And some of these guys off the practice squad are actually going to make the team. Gandy Golden might come back as a tight end. Kim Gill, I do want to upgrade. So I think there's a pretty good chance he makes the team as a right end. So how many people during their Madden rebuilds have to stop and take a piss? Because that's where I'm at right now. Staff week, I could not care any less about. Contract extended, that's great. We got re-signs. I gotta take a piss. I'm gonna be right back. And I'm back. And I don't care about retirements as long as Brady didn't retire. Larry Fitzgerald retired. Kind of expected that. Would have been nice to get him a ring, but oh well. There's going to be multiple seasons to this. We're going to have other chances. I think I'd rather have Jensen back than Fournette. Yeah, it's gonna be a more reasonable. It's 1 year, 10 million. Yeah, I'll do that. I can't re-sign Fournette. Not re-signing Jones at that price. Get out of here. Where was Gronk? There he is. He wants 3 years. Oh, Gronk, I can't do 3 years. I'll do 2. So no Gronk. I do not want to pay OJ Howard that much money. I know I'm risking it. So I could come out of this with no good tight ends, but if that happens, I'll make a trade for one. Ben Mason, I'll just lock him up. He'll be my fullback for 7 years. All right. Everybody else can walk. Really disappointed to lose some of the players that we're losing, especially when I've got limited money. It's going to be tough to compete in free agency to bring some of these guys back, so we're just going to have to be really smart on how we handle our money. And there might be a few places where we can trim some cap. Not a wide receiver, Cam Brate. Sorry, Cam. That saves us about $6 million. Donovan Smith is a tough decision. It would save us $13 million to go ahead and trade him. There's a $5 million cap penalty, and he is our starting left tackle. It's not going to be easy to get a left tackle in the draft because we do not draft high. We got pick 31. So I might have to keep Donovan Smith. I know we're paying him a ton of money, but I don't know what other options we have unless I see one out there in free agency that is a cheaper option. That's really our only place to cut money. Suck up. Cut him. Pinion. Cut him. I'll get a kicker and a punter in free agency. All right, we got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do and not a lot of money to do it. 33 million in cap room. Gronk didn't get any offers. That's good. We might be able to slip in and get Gronk back. Fournette's got offers. Shit, and there isn't any other running backs out there, so we got to win the bidding on Fournette. How much is he in coming back to Tampa? He's interested. All right. I hope that's good enough to get Fournette back. Because if not, we're going to have to trade for a running back. We're going to be hurting. Rojo didn't get an offer. So we're going to give him a low ball offer and see if he'll sign back with us. And then I'll probably draft a running back or re-sign one, or sign one in preseason free agency. Ugh, easy for me to say. I would have liked to have gotten a third wide receiver, but Jesus, I don't have very much money. Looks like Devontae Adams is going to be headed to the Steelers. Odell's available. I wouldn't mind doing a 1-year deal on him. We might circle back. I can't afford like Adams or Gallup, even Jacoby Myers. Gronk. Let's try that 2-year deal on Gronk and see if he'll take it. That cuts us to $14 million, and we still need 2 other tight ends. I really like Will Dissly. He's already got an offer out there. Ebron might be the guy to actually offer a contract. Or OJ. Let's lowball OJ and see if we can get him back. And we need one more tight end. I actually like Cameron Brate. It's ridiculous how expensive tight ends are. Left tackle, there's Teron Armstead, who's way out of our price range. Terrell Crosby. He's not as good of a player as Smith, but he's cheaper. Let's see, is there a right tackle? There is not a right tackle out there. That's worth it. Oh boy. Well, let's see if we could use Smith to trade up in the draft. Maybe there's a tackle-starved team that will take Smith off our hands and let us trade up to a position to actually draft a new left tackle. Nobody is super interested. The 49ers, how did they do? They do not have a first-round pick. The Panthers, I know, were pretty good. They picked 26. Doesn't do us any good. The Saints were good. The Seahawks do not have a first-round pick. What in the hell? The Steelers, pick 4. How close are we? Not close. Smith and pick 31 for pick 4. Smith and my next two first rounders for pick 4. Just not that close. God damn it. I'm going to have to keep Smith. I don't know who the hell I'm going to draft. I would like to be able to move up. I just don't know if I've got the pieces to do it. Not without weakening my team. I need some depth on the O-line. Prince Tega Wanago. The guy from Auburn. We'll call him that. Let's offer him a deal on the cheap. Need a left guard. Let's try to find an inexpensive one. Could just bring Wells back. One year, 1.5. Center, we're good. Right guard, we need a cheap one. Let's try Phil Haynes. That'll work. Let's go 3 years, 1.8. We're running low on funds, folks. And Isaiah Wilson. Let's go 6 years at 1.4. No signing bonus on him. I do not have defensive ends. So Cam Gill. Remember I said he was probably going to make the team? Yeah, this is why. It is so hard to manage the cap when you got a team that was as stacked as Tampa Bay was with all the players that you got to pay. I need a defensive tackle. All right, what's my biggest need right now? Probably defensive tackle. Shit, I gotta trade Levante David too. Because he's gonna retire if I don't. I'll free up $7 million. Let's find a team that really wants Levante David. The Bengals. Better yet, let's find a team with a high draft pick that really wants Levante David. Maybe I can parlay Levante David into a starting left tackle. Pick 8 from the Cowboys. The Falcons made the playoffs. The Niners didn't have a first round pick. $15. Cowboys at 8 so far look like the best option. Yeah, they are going to be the best option. I don't know what Levante David's value is going to be. Okay. Okay, we're in the neighborhood here. I don't know if they'll do a swap straight up for the 8th pick. Let's try it. Let's see how close we are. A little ways off. What if I throw... Let's try a 5. It's going to take at least a 4. How about a 4 and a 5? I still don't think this is going to get it done. I think it's going to have to be a 3. Maybe even a 3 and a 4. Yikes. Oh, I don't want to give up my round 2 pick. What else? What else is it going to take? A 2 and a 5? Oh my god, a 2 and a 4? It's going to take a 2 and a 3. At least give me back a 6, will ya? No? Alright. Well, we're up to 8th. I should be able to get a tackle at 8. Which means I can trade away Donovan Smith to the most left tackle starved team. Which may be the Colts. Was there a team that had him in the green? Yeah, there was. The 49ers. The Panthers. Oh, Panthers are over the cap. Thanks a lot, Panthers. Can't manage your own cap situation. Maybe I can cripple the Saints cap situation by trading them Donovan Smith. See if I can get a second round pick back. There we go. Alright, so I lost Donovan Smith. and Levante David, but I should be able to lock down a cornerstone left tackle in the draft now. Freed up some money. So now I can come back and put in an offer for a defensive tackle. Might be Ndamukong Suh to come back for a year. Put in a low ball offer on him. Should be able to get him to come back. I need some depth. Alright, I got Arden Key. Deshaun Hand I actually like as a defensive tackle. Oh, I'm not paying him that though. Let's put in an offer to Tack McKinley to be a backup right end. And I do want to circle back to wide receiver too. I'm gonna have to make a move at linebacker too. Either use some of my remaining draft picks or to trade for an outside linebacker because I cannot go into the season with no starting outside linebackers, no starting caliber outside linebackers. I might be able to pick somebody up in free agency that I can shift outside linebacker. Dante Hightower, ooh, that's a high price tag. Chris Barnes is a possibility. I'm going to offer him 5 years. That if we can get him to sign that contract, that locks up one of our outside linebacker positions, and the other one I'm not super worried about because that guy's just not going to play in nickel formations. Von Miller would have been nice to bring in on a 1-year deal, but he's getting 2-year offers. Raekwon McMillan was our outside linebacker last year. He's going to cash that in. Hardy Nickerson, Ben Burkiven. Let's lowball him and see if we can get him to sign. At the very least, he's a backup. We need some depth at corner. Bouye's still out there. And I don't think we're going to have the cap room to circle back to wide receiver because I got to get a safety. I can't afford Marcus Williams, but I might be able to get like Kareem Jackson on a 1-year deal. I give him no signing bonus. All right, let's see if we can get lucky. I got no offers on kickers and punters. I got to come back to that. Cap room is tight. This is probably the year where we've got to do the most maneuvering around the cap. All right, we got a load of accepted contracts. Wilson, Jackson, Wanago, Malik Jefferson rejected our offer. Barnes accepted. Gronkowski accepted, and Fournette accepted. So that's big for us. We got basically our big three in Barnes, Gronkowski, and Fournette. Those are all starters. Now let's take a look at what we've got remaining. Ronald Jones has got offers, so I got to go back to running back. Long has offers, so I got to go back to middle linebacker. So I got to go to halfback and middle linebacker. Let's try Sony Michel. We'll send him a low ball offer. And I'm not super interested in middle linebacker. I'd rather have a wide receiver, but I can't compete with the Jags going after Odell. I'm not giving him that 4-year deal. There's nobody else out there that I'm super interested in. I could pick somebody up in the preseason who I can slot in. So let's go to middle linebacker. Forget about middle linebacker. Let's wrap up a kicker and a punter right here. Younghoe Koo. Let's go 5 years. No signing bonus. Punters. Woo, punters went fast, didn't they? Okay. Let's just bring Pinion back. To hell with it. All right. Under a mil left. Let's go ahead and advance to week 3. Hopefully we get some of these remaining players to re-sign. We did. We got a bunch. Tack McKinley, Younghoe Koo, Josh Wells, Ben Burkiven, and Arden Key. All re-signed. Let's see who we've got remaining. Bouye, Sony Michel, we're out on. Sue's still out there. Howard, we're out on. Pinion, Brait, and Haynes. So I need to look at tight end and halfback. Nobody is re-signing Mostert. Nobody's signing Mostert. Nobody's signing Rashad Penny. I'll throw an offer out there on Penny. As a halfway decent backup running back if we can get him. And we need a backup tight end. Hayden Hurst or Jared? Jared Cook is 35, still going. Yeah, I'll respect the vet. He's not getting a 2-year deal. $1.35 left. Ooh, he does not like that. There, let's give him some of our remaining money. There we go. Now we got a better shot. All right, let's advance the last week before the draft. Anybody going to sign? Yes, Bouye and Ndamukong Suh. All right. So we are good to go. We are good to head to the draft. We got pick number 8, and we're going to be looking for tackles.
The Lions on the clock now. What direction will they go?
So we're going to look at the draft board. Evan Neal probably going to be off the board by the time we pick. Charles Cross or Ikemekwane could still be there. I'd be happy with either. I probably prefer Ekwonu. But if Evan Neal slips, we're jumping on him. And then down at 28, or we picked 31, not 28. Down at 31, I'd love to have Garrett Wilson. I don't think he's going to be there. Roger McCreary is an option. Bucks took Logan Hall. I'm probably not going to go running back. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. The first thing we got to do is try to get a tackle at pick 8.
All right, next up, the
Lions
team
go Aiden
on
Hutchinson at 1. The Commanders
okay, here we
go
go.
Trayvon Walker at 2. The Vikings go Evan Neal at 3. So there's one of our tackles off the board. The Steelers go Ahmad Gardner at 4.
The Jets
The
now
Texans
on the clock.
go
Let's see what they
Stingley
do.
Jr., the corner of LSU at 5.
Okay,
The
next
Jets
up,
go
it's the
Kyle
Broncos
Hamilton
on the
at
clock.
6. So we're going to get one of our tackles. That's a lock now.
The Buccaneers are on the
Kayvon
clock
Thibodeau
now.
goes to the Denver Broncos. So I got my pick of which tackle I want. Kenny Pickett's still there. Charles Cross, Ikemekwane. Oh, man. I could try to live dangerously and trade down. I don't know what kind of value there'd be there, so maybe it's best that I just take who I know I want right now, which is Ikemekwane.
All right, it's the Eagles now on the
All right,
clock.
hidden dev. Big time strength, 95 strength. We'll shift him over to left tackle. You'll start across from Tristan Wirfs. So we're building out a pretty solid offensive line. I'm happy with that pick.
Okay, it's the
Eagles
Patriots
go
on the
Jordan
clock now.
Davis.
All right, next up,
Drake
the
London
Jets
to the
are on the clock.
Patriots. Jermaine Johnson to the Jets.
And the Giants now on the clock. Who do
Andrew
they have their eye
Booth
on?
to the Chargers. Charles Cross is still not gone.
The Browns
There
are
he
now on the
goes to the
clock.
Giants.
The Raiders on the clock
Browns
now.
take
What
Chris
direction will they go?
Olave. The Raiders take Jameson Williams.
The Cardinals are now on the
Eagles get
clock.
Devin Lloyd.
On the clock now, it's the
Kenyon
Dolphins. Time is
Green
ticking.
to the Cardinals.
Now we turn to the
Dolphins get
Eagles. They're
Zion
on the clock.
Johnson.
The Bengals are
The
on the clock
Eagles,
now.
Trent McDuffie.
The Giants
The
are on the
Bengals
clock
get
now.
George Karlaftis.
Okay, it's
The
the
Giants
Titans
get
now on the
Tyler
clock.
Linderbaum.
The Saints are on the
The
clock now.
Titans get
What direction will
Devontae
they go?
Wyatt.
The Falcons on
The
the clock
Saints
now.
go
Let's
Kenny
see who
Pickett.
they have
There's
their eye on.
the quarterback off the board. He's going to be in my division.
Okay,
The
next up,
Falcons
it's the
go Drake
Packers on the
Jackson.
clock. The Panthers now on the
Garrett
clock.
Wilson to the Packers. Like, damn, I was hoping he would slip to 31.
All right, the Ravens are
Malik
now on the
Willis
clock.
to the Carolina Panthers. That's a reach. That's a reach. He's a developmental guy, though. The
On the
Ravens
clock
go
now, the
Trevor
Chiefs.
Penning. That's a good pick.
Okay, it's the
The
Lions
Chiefs
now
get
on the clock.
N'Kobe Dean.
On the clock
The
now, the
Lions go Jahan
Jaguars.
Dotson, another wide receiver off the board.
Okay, it's the Bucks now on the
Dax
clock.
Hill to the Jaguars. Who do I want? Traylon Burks. I missed out on all the other wide receivers. Traylon Burks is interesting. I could use a corner. Kyler Gordon and Roger McCreary are somewhat interesting. I did bring back Fournette, so I don't need a running back. I Oh, there's George Pickens. I think the pick has to be either Pickens or Traylon Burks, and I think Burks is the better player. I'm going Burks.
Okay, it's the Bills now on the clock.
Hidden Dev, 6'3", 225, 20 years old. Only 88 speed, but we can work with that. He'll slot in as our third receiver ahead of Scotty Miller. Last pick of the first
The
round,
Lions on the
Kyer
clock now.
Elam to the Buffalo Bills. We're going to skip ahead to our next pick.
The Bucks on the clock now. Let's see who they have their eye on.
Wouldn't mind taking a running back here if there's one available. James Cook. Boye Mafe's still there. I don't really need a defensive end. James Cook is exactly what I wanted, though. I also could use a safety. I got to go James Cook.
Okay, it's the Falcons now on the clock.
All right, that looks like a good pick. Hidden Dev, he can be my receiving back. Fournette will be the primary. Next pick is in the fourth round.
On the clock now, it's the Buccaneers.
I don't know if there's going to be anybody worth picking down here. Tariq Woolen, Alec Pierce. I've seen Alec Pierce show up in other franchises, so I know he can make a halfway decent slot receiver at some point. I'm just looking for names that I recognize at this point. Cole Turner, oh boy. It's slim pickings. I might trade this pick. I might trade this pick and then go punter in the fifth round. See if I can get a third round pick offered me. No, doesn't look like it. Who's gonna suck? Probably the Dolphins. Maybe the Commanders. I'll take the Commanders fourth
All
rounder
right
for
now,
next
looks
year.
like there's a trade coming in. All right, next up, the Bucks are on the clock.
See if any punters or kickers have gone off the board. I don't know if I can wait until the seventh round. None of them have gone. I want one of these two. I want Ariza or Camarda. I'm going to go ahead and take the guy I want right here.
All right, on the clock now, the Bills.
I'll take the punt god in round 5. I'll trade my round 7 pick.
The Buccaneers are on the clock now.
I can use that for trade fodder if you later on. I don't really care whose it is. We'll go Seattle's.
Wait a minute here. Yep, they just traded the pick away.
And I'll take us to the end of the draft. Draft recap. Let's see how we did. Ike Ekwonu is our 8th overall pick, 77 overall. Hidden Dev. He's going to fit right in. Traylon Burks, 72 overall. Hidden Dev. James Cook, 71 overall. Hidden Dev. Matt Ariza, 76 overall. Hidden Dev. So we hit on every pick. I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. We didn't have a long draft. We didn't have a deep draft, but we hit on every pick that we had. Let's advance to week 1 of the preseason. Start year 2 of this rebuild. Hall of Fame induction, I'm not going to sit through. Managed roster is what we need. We need to look at where we got holes and whether we got money to fill them. Brady and Trask is going to be the quarterback room. We need to sign a running back. Cook is going to be my backup. He's going to be a receiving back. I'm happy to work with that. Keyshawn Vaughn is the 3 is fine, so we basically just need a 4th running back. And I need somebody cheap because I do not have a lot of money. Salvin Ahmed. Nope. Got to be cheaper than that. All right, how about some of these undrafted rookies? Marcel Murray. That works. Hopefully we don't have any other positions that we need to sign. Otherwise, we're going to have to really kind of finagle our way around the cap. Okay, we can free up some room here by cutting receivers. So I can always go back and sign a running back if I need to, but I'm actually fairly happy with Marcel Murray. Tyler Johnson, the 4, 5. Jalen Darden is my 6th receiver. Did he get worse? He got worse. Wow. I don't know if I've ever seen that happen before. Huh, that's a new one on me. Andy Golden might make the team, but it's going to be as a tight end. He's not big. He's big. He's not fast enough to play wide receiver. He's just not going to get separation. Let's give him a tight end's number, 85. Rydell Anthony's old number. There you go. So I do need a tight end. I got to cut some receivers. Bachman, cut. Cody Thompson, cut. Jalen Camp, cut. Cyril Grayson, cut. Okay, well I'm not super pleased with Jalen Darden regressing as a rookie. I didn't know that could happen. I thought there was just always positive progression until you reached the point where you weren't in your prime anymore. I've never seen a rookie regress. We need a tight end. Let's see what's out there. We still don't have a whole hell of a lot of money to play with, so it's going to have to be a cheap option. Ian Thomas works. I don't know what other holes we have to fill. Let's take a look. We need a backup right guard. Ikwanu's going to left tackle. So we need a backup right guard, and then our offense is set. We're just gonna make the roster minimums. If we do that. there like an undrafted rookie? John lands. He lands on our team. I've only got 49 players on the roster, which leads me to believe I still need 4 more players. That's not good. I don't know how I'm going to squeeze 4 more players under the cap. Good at defensive end. I need a defensive tackle. I can cut Raheem Nunez Roches, free up a bit of money. So I need 2 defensive tackles. Chris Barnes is going to left outside linebacker. And so is Voshan Joseph. Boy, I hope my linebackers don't get hurt. Voshan Joseph is a reasonable backup, but at middle linebacker, I do not have a lot there. I need a right outside linebacker, 2 defensive tackles. Let's try. It's all power rushers. There's no run stoppers. Let's look at left outside linebacker. 1.4. There's a run stopper. Gaddafi right. Welcome aboard. Defensive tackles. Y'all are too expensive. Vince Moala. Welcome aboard. Now I should have enough room to actually sign a halfway decent defensive tackle here. Kalen Saunders. And I think I need a safety too. Let's take a look at the rest of our roster. I think that's what's missing. I think I've got about everything else covered. Walla, Gaddafi right's going to right outside linebacker. So this team's going to be really good, but it's going to be thin. Oh, I need a corner. A corner and a free safety. Or a strong safety. Holy shit. If I can get this under the cap, it's going to be a miracle. A corner and a strong safety. Vontae Davis? Not the Vontae Davis that used to play. Kenderick Duncan. Let's go with Kenderick Duncan. And I need another undrafted rookie to be my 5th corner. Hopefully we can get this under the cap. Sean Jolly. Oh yeah, with plenty of room to spare. Plenty of room to spare. God forbid anybody gets hurt on this team. I don't have any cap room to do anything else, so I might as well just set my depth chart now. Cook, Vaughn, And Mason. I want Traylon Burks playing as my third receiver. Scotty Miller is going to be the backup out of the slot. Gronk, Ian Thomas. I mean, this is a solid offensive line. The defense is still going to be really good, even without Levante David. Chris Barnes is not Levante David, but he's still a pretty good player. Safety we're better at than we were last year. James Cook's going to return kicks. Third down back is going to be Cook. Why is Cook so lowly rated as a third down back? He can catch. Huh. It's a weird quirk of this draft class. Cook is a better third down back than that. I'll try to develop him as such. I'm going to have Godwin work out of the slot again. He had a big year doing that. Burks. No, Tyler Johnson. Burks is going to work on the outside. Shaquille Barrett, Tryon Shawinka. White, Barnes, and then it gets murky. Let's do Ben Burr-Kiven because I'm going to want to use one of these corners. Mike Edwards. I'm going to want to use Mike Edwards as a slot corner in a pinch. Nobody signed to the practice squad because we don't have any cap. All right.
He's with me. He's with me.
All right. Sorry about that. Phone's blowing up again. Player meeting, improve rookie. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Coach Epic and Mkwanu. Let's work on his pass blocking, pass block power, because I'm going to work on agility. Love to see that. Preseason week 2. God, it's almost 10 o'clock already here on the East Coast. By East Coast, I mean Indiana, Eastern Standard Time. Let's take a look at how Aquanu is progressing. All right, that's good to know. Can't stand out. Joe Tryon Shawinka. Yeah, rush the passer. He's pure pass rush. Wide receiver mentorship. Tyler Johnson. Why are you not working with Traylon Burks? O'Shawn Joseph getting a little boost. Up to a 69. Nice. Let's see what this is. Oh, it's a little boost for Ekamakwanu. 10,000 XP? Oh, that's a big boost. That's going to be a +2 ratings boost for Ekamakwanu. First one's going to get his agility up equal with his power to a 78. And the next one gets him up to a 79. 80 with the plus team play. I'm really excited about my offensive line. We are ready for the regular season. Year 2. We came so close to the Super Bowl in year 1. Let's see if we can get back in year 2. Camp standout, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. Is he getting a dev trait scenario? He is. Getting a breakout scenario. Let's see who's available to upgrade. Isaiah Wilson. Keep working on him. Get his agility, his agile blocking up. I think we got him on like a 6-year deal, so we got plenty of time to work on it. Set season goal. And the season goal is to make it to the playoffs. All right, week 1 against the Giants. See if we can pick up the dub. Go to 1-0. And we beat them 35-7. Let's see if we got the dev trait. Yes. Finally, we got one. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. Oh, it was only an XP boost. Now he's got to get 3 sacks to continue his breakout. Oh, man, I thought we got a dev trait upgrade. Traylon Burks continues to get better. I don't know what we want to upgrade him in. How is he as a route runner? Not bad. Let's upgrade his physical tools. Tryon-Shoyinka is now up to a 79, close to an 80. Still at a star dev, though. Damn, I thought we had a superstar. Let's see who got hurt. Ali Marpet out for 4 weeks. Well, that's fine. At least he didn't retire. All right, week 2 against the 1-0 Chiefs. Big game. Can we get the W? Go to 2-0. We lost 31-23. Oh, it was a tough game. Let's see if we at least got the breakout scenario. Nope. Damn. Missed out on both. The win and the breakout. Then we got 2 new injuries. Barnes is out for 30. Oh my God. Barnes is out for 2 weeks. And Fournette tore his Achilles. He's out for 39 weeks. Son of a bitch. Well, we got James Cook as our backup. He's going to get a lot of playing time. Man, we could not have major injuries on this team. This team's just not deep enough. It costs too much money to keep everybody in house. Wasn't really able to build out depth, and it's already going to start sneaking up on us. James Cook getting a boost. I don't have time to worry about his receiving now. I got to get him ready to play. Damn, I cannot believe Fournette tore his Achilles. That's horrible. All right, now we cannot fall to 1-2. We need to win against the Seahawks. 38-20, got the win. And we got a shot at the 3-0 division leading Saints. Quanu up to an 81. Kappa is going to be up to a 78. Andy Golden, we need to work on his blocking. For him to be a feasible tight end. Tristan Wirfs up to a 94. All right, big game against the 3-0 Saints. Lost 31-28. Down in the cellar in the NFC South, 2-2. The Saints are 4-0 with their new quarterback Kenny Pickett. And to top things off, we got to take on the tough Green Bay Packers. They're fighting for their playoff lives as well. One of us is going to come out of this game at 2-3 and have an uphill battle. Carlton Davis up to an 86. Another +1 speed, so he's up to a 90 speed. So we can take him out of the slot if we ever need to. Chris Barnes is back from injury. We're going to need him. So we got to beat the Packers. There's no getting around it. And we win 13-7. Yikes. We got a breakout scenario. Ben Burr-Kiven. Curvin? Is it Curvin? Ben Burr-Curvin? Could you pick a name that's a little easier to say, please? Antoine Winfield up to an 88. Leonard Fournette and his torn Achilles. An 88. Still out for 36 weeks. Hopefully he doesn't regress too much coming off that injury. That'd be devastating. Traylon Burks is up to a 74. Wanago up to a 68. Evans up to a 96. Evans is just a beast. All right, we got the Saints again in week 6. They're 5-0, we're 3-2. Can we get them back for the early season loss? We do. 21-17, we pull it out. Climb to 4-2, just a game back. Do we get our breakout scenario? No. That's fine. I'm not high on Burr Curvin anyway. James Cook, up to a 74. We need him to continue to progress quickly. He's got no choice with Fournette out for the entire year with a torn Achilles. That's really put us in a hole. Cam Gill up to a 68. Chris Barnes up to a 78. Still got the star dev. Against the 3-3 Rams, a rematch to the NFC Championship. And it's a mock draft, so it's taking a little bit longer. We pull it out 35-14, up to 5-2. And we got a breakout scenario for Chris Barnes. That's one that I'd actually really want. Let's see if we can get Chris Barnes a dev trade upgrade. That'd be huge for our defense. Trask is going up to a 68. He's a solid backup now. KJ Britt up to a 67. Grant Stewart at a 65. At least Britt jumped up to a 67 because we need him as a middle linebacker, as a backup middle linebacker. Sean Jolly up to a 65 as our fifth corner. And Keyshawn Vaughn up to a 72. He's probably being pressed into a little bit of playing time as well, with Fournette being out. Week 8 against the 1-5 Pittsburgh Steelers. Going into our bye week. Can we get the W? No, we lose 31-21 to drop to 5-3 going into the bye. And I'm assuming we probably didn't get the breakout. Nope. Usually when you lose, you don't get the breakout. All right, let's upgrade players and see who we have to re-sign. Kendrick Duncan Jr. It's just a terrible safety. Just terrible. He's all we can afford. Young Ho Koo. He's up to an 83. Solid kicker. And let's negotiate. Tom Brady wants a 1-year, $38 million deal. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say yes either. I might let him walk to free agency and see if anybody puts in an offer, and if they don't, I'm going to lowball him. Ryan Jensen wants a 2-year deal, which is what I wanted to give him last year to begin with, so let's go ahead and do that. The contract length works, but that's it. All right, he's being a pain in the ass. Devin White needs a better salary. I got to sign one of these corners. It's going to be Jamel Dean. He signs. I'm going to let Murphy Bunting walk. Boyer is going to walk. Everybody else is going to walk. Scotty Miller can walk. Okay. So let's advance week. Coming out of the bye. Five and 3 at the 4-4 Carolina Panthers. O'Shawn Joseph is going up to a 70 overall. He's turned into a halfway decent player. Jalen Darden, who's been a big disappointment in this franchise, is back to a 67 overall. See if he regresses again. John Lands, he lands a 69 overall. Tom Brady up to a 94. So he regressed from a 99 down to a 92. Now he's back up to a 94. And let's go ahead and negotiate with some of our players we were still working on. Jensen likes the contract length, but that's it. So let's up the cash. Let's offer him 2 years, 26 mil. Salary in the duration is good. The bonus isn't there. Devin White wants more salary. And he's back. Devin White's back. I got $40 million to spend. I got more than that. If I bring Brady back, I've only got $9 million to spend. So it's deceiving how much money I have. So I need to fill all these holes on my roster. So I cannot re-sign. I cannot re-sign Murphy Bunting if I'm going to bring in a quarterback, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Let's make a run of the Super Bowl. We'll figure that out next year. All right, 5-3 Bucks at the 4-4 Carolina Panthers. And we lost 27-24. The Panthers continue to be a thorn in our side. And this is quickly turning into a wild card or bust season. I think we're playing our way out of the division. Traylon Burks boosts his physical skills. Doesn't give him a boost anywhere else, unfortunately. Let's negotiate with Jensen, see if we can get him back. He wants a better bonus. What can we do? Alright, Jensen's back. It took quite a bit of money to get him back, but we need him. We're going to run him into the ground. Alright, 5-4 Bucks at 4-5 Ravens. We need this to stay in the wild card race. Stay ahead in the wild card race at least. And we lost 42-20. This season's starting to spiral on us. Down to 5-5. Things were looking good for a minute. We're back down. Gaddafi Wright's up to a 65. Mike Edwards, we need to play slot corner, so we're going to work on his hybrid skills. Give him some man coverage boost. And we got the 6-4 Arizona Cardinals. We need a win bad. Can we get it done? Yes, 37-31. Let's see if we're currently in the playoff picture. We are not. We're on the outside looking in at 6-5, so we need to keep winning. Matt Ariza, the punt god, getting better. Getting a boost to his awareness. He's a 78 overall. A couple players returning from injury. Mike Evans is back. Ryan Jensen's back. Mike Edwards is back. Let's take a look at the injury report, see who's still out there. Ali Marpet is out for 2 weeks, and Fournette is out for the season, of course. Here we go. 6-5 Bucks hosting the 3-8 Falcons. This should be a win for us. Can we lock it up? Yes, 21-9, up to 7-5. Does that put us in the playoffs? Yes, it does. All right, if we can hold on to this position, we will make the playoffs. But we've got the 6-6 Carolina Panthers, the team that we can't seem to beat. We are 1-3 against them in this franchise so far. Shaq Barrett's going up to a 92 overall. Devin White up to a 90 overall. Sean Murphy-Bunting up to an 84. He's going to be a really good corner for somebody. Somebody's going to pick him up in free agency. Tryon Shawinka up to an 82. Vita Vea up to a 97. Might be the best defensive tackle in the game at this point. Here we go. The Carolina Panthers. Can we beat them? We need this win, and we lose 30-24. We continue to struggle against the Panthers. Knocks us down to 7-6. The Panthers leapfrog us in the division, and they leapfrog us into the playoffs. We have to play the 7-6 Bengals now. This would be brutal to not make the playoffs in year 2. We've struggled with some injuries, but I think we still have a good enough team that we should be able to make the playoffs. We're Kivin up to a 72. Moala is up to a 62. Some of these undrafted guys have actually turned into halfway decent backups. Moala is not one of them. Barnes up to a 79. We missed a dev trait with him earlier in the season, so that's a little disappointing. All right, week 15. We need a win against the 7-6 Bengals. Trying to hang in the wild card race. And we beat them 34-20. Big win. The Panthers won too, so we're both at 8-6. We're probably still trailing them for the wild card. Kappa up to a 79. James Cook up to a 76. At least he is quickly improving. Ikemakwanu up to an 83. Star Dev. All right, we play the 4-10 Falcons. This has got to be a win. This has got to be a win. No fucking around here. We have to win this game. And we lose 24-21 to drop to 8-7. Oh my gosh. And the Panthers lost too. And they got the 7 seed at 8-7. So we could have taken over that last playoff spot. And now we got to beat the 8-7 49ers. We probably have to win out. Is what we're looking at. We need to win out to make the playoffs. Treylon Burks, we're going to go ahead and upgrade his deep threat. Get him to a 76 overall. Gets a boost in speed, which is good. He's up to an 89 speed. Marcel Murray up to a 69. Nice. Antoine Winfield up to an 89. Still just star dev for him. I'd like to see him get a superstar at some point. But right now, the more pressing need is a win. We have got to beat the 8-7 49ers. Come on. Let's see it. Yes, 31-10. We beat the 49ers to go to 9-7. That puts us in the 7 seed right now. So if we win, we're in. We have to beat the 10-6 Browns, and we're in the playoffs. Jensen's getting a boost. He's up to a 92. Carlton Davis getting a boost. He's up to an 88. Tyler Johnson up to a 74. Chris Godwin up to a 95. Returning from injury, Gandy Golden and Ian Thomas with a couple tight ends. Here we go. Need this game to make the playoffs. Got to beat the 10-6 Browns. A tough team to beat in simulation. And we beat them 38-14. Going to the playoffs at 10-7, and we got to go at the 9-8 Cardinals in the first round. This is a winnable game. So Sean Jolly up to a 66 overall. He's one of the undrafted guys that's actually turned into a viable backup. Grant Stewart up to a 67. Winogo up to a 69. Nice. Sorry, that was delayed. Carlton Davis is back from injury, so let's go ahead and switch our slot corner backs around because I know it's going to take Carlton Davis out of there. We want Davis as the slot corner. It's just going to put Dean and Murphy Bunting on the outside. All right. Here we go against the 9-8 Arizona Cardinals in the wild card playoffs. We lost 24-17. Damn. We had a pretty good team, too. The number 5 overall offense and the number 6 overall defense. I feel like we should have had a better team. We had the worst rushing offense in the league, though. That's because Fournette got hurt. Well, our playbook is a pass-first offense, but it doesn't help that Fournette got hurt. Brady threw for 5,000 yards, 34 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. It was a pretty good season for him. James Cook only averaged 3.7 yards per carry, 863 rushing yards. He's up to a 77 overall, superstar dev. So hopefully we can continue to develop him and he doesn't regress. Godwin had 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. Gronk had 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns. Evans had 1,106. Treylon Burks had 900 yards and 4 touchdowns. Scotty Miller didn't do much. James Cook didn't do much. On the defensive end, Devin White led the team in tackles with 110. Shaq Barrett had 15 sacks. That's more like it. Joe Tryon-Shawinka had 9.5. Vea had 9. And Dominican Sue had 8.5. Team had a few interceptions. Devin White, Kareem Jackson, Winfield with 3. Barnes had 2. Carlton Davis had 2. Dean had 1. And Murphy Bunting had 1. corners just don't seem to get interceptions in simulation. It's weird. We only kicked 14 field goals. Ariza kicked the shit out of the ball. Traylon Burks returned a kickoff for a touchdown. So Cook must have got hurt at some point during the season. We just didn't see it. All right, well, let's go ahead and advance to the end of the year. We take a look at the season recap. I'm not too worried about upgrading players right now. Hopefully we get some Pro Bowlers. Hopefully we get some guys that go up in dev traits. And it is the Cleveland Browns and the New Orleans Saints. Cleveland Browns, New Orleans Saints in the Super Bowl. The New Orleans Saints with a rookie quarterback. That's annoying. The Saints are just going to be monsters during this rebuild, aren't they? That I'm going to have to overcome over and over again. The computer signed some pretty good players to my practice squad, so I appreciate that. I'll auto upgrade the rest. View yearly awards. Ezekiel Elliott won the MVP. We'll view this in the recap, the yearly recap. Who's going to win the Super Bowl? I bet it's going to be the Saints, just to piss me off. It was the Browns. The 2022 season recap. Cleveland Browns 42-17 over the Saints. Baker Mayfield won Super Bowl MVP. Elliott won MVP of the league, won Offensive Player of the Year. Emmanuel Ogbah won Defensive Player of the Year. Kenny Pickett won Offensive Rookie of the Year. Quay Walker won Defensive Rookie of the Year. And that does it for years 1 and 2 of our 20-year rebuild. We had one really successful season in which we made the Super Bowl, one where we got back to the playoffs and got beat. Still chasing our first Super Bowl. We're going to get one, though. All right, until next time, peace out.